So let's talk about the progress of the war in Ukraine now with former CI Director and retired Army General David Petraeus. General, thanks very much for joining me.
Good to be with you, Jerry.
So, General, you're following this very closely. What's your assessment right now of how Russia is doing? Is it even possible to think that Russia could actually even lose this war?
Well, first of all, I think that they're doing very poorly. What we have seen is certainly not the actions of a well-coordinated, exceedingly well-trained force that adheres to high standards in its tactics and operations and all the rest of that. We've seen the opposite of it. They've failed miserably at their logistics. They haven't achieved combined arms effects by using armor together with infantry, engineers, and artillery. They haven't achieved coordination between their ground and air operations, so the blitzkrieg really didn't have much blitz in it in the early days, and they've basically been stalled. Outside Kyiv, continuing to try to reposition and to try to encircle Kyiv, but not appearing to be able to do that. The same roughly around Kharkiv, to the east of Kyiv in the eastern part of the country, where they've done enormous damage, and they continue to do damage in Kyiv as well. Of course, the one thing they can do, it appears, is launch artillery, rockets, bombs, and missiles that are not very precise, and that often hit civilian infrastructure and civilians who are huddled in various locations. The real challenge for the Ukrainians is Mariupol. That's the southeastern port city, one of their two port cities. It's on the Sea of Azov, which then goes into the Black Sea. And there they are encircled, and that is a desperate situation. Food, fuel, water all cut off, and how long they can hold out, I think, is very much in question. But the longer they can, the better, because that pins down the Russian forces that are located there to maintain that encirclement and to continue to try to press forward in Mariupol. And then in the southwest, they really have not made much progress in trying to get to Odessa. A very staunch defense, a great mayor and military commanders in Mykolaiv have basically stopped the Russians from getting across a key river to get to that southwest port. And they haven't made much progress going north around Mykolaiv to get down to that, again, critical port, although it has been hit by naval forces with cruise missiles and so forth.
General, let me interrupt. You led U.S. forces against an insurgency in Iraq. Do you actually think the Russians have enough, enough force and enough qualifying, enough experience? No, they don't, to do what they're trying to do. No, they don't.
No, not at all. No, I've said from the very beginning, before it was apparent how poorly trained, poorly led, poorly equipped even, despite this supposed modernization of Russian forces, their kit is very severely lacking. We don't see them with secure communications at frequency hop. Rather, they're on analog, and they're being jammed by the Ukrainians. They're resorting to cell phones until the Ukrainians deny Russian numbers access to their cell phone system. So, no, I'm just not seeing a force that could take the country, much less hold it. There's no way they could do that. And keep in mind that Kyiv alone, which still probably has over 2 million people in it, is 320 square miles. Right. That's larger than New York City, which is about 300 square miles. And no way they can do urban operations. You know, in our operations, when I was a two-star general in the invasion of Iraq, to liberate Iraq from the Saddam Hussein kleptocratic regime, the people welcomed us. I cannot imagine a situation where everyone hates you and much of the adult population is trying to kill you. It is a context that is just difficult beyond imagination.